Hi everybody, happy Monday. That is, if you celebrate Mondays, I try not to. But here's another one. It's supposed to be cool tomorrow, so I have that to look forward to. But in the meantime, I have some Farmhouse ticking Christmas ornament DIYs for you. Almost everything's from Dollar Tree for these, except for the fabric, which is from Walmart. I got this when it was maybe $1.50 a yard, I think. I took the rest of the bulk because I was like, okay, I can figure out something to do with this. They have a very similar fabric to this. It's basically the exact same thing. It's from Waverly and everything. I just think it has maybe one more stripe in the pattern. I remember seeing it, and it's back up to like $6 a yard, so I don't know if they were just trying to get rid of this one or what the deal was, but I got it for really cheap. I've used it a bunch, and I still have a bunch left, so. And I wanted to make some farmhouse ornaments. And ticking reminds me more of like Farmhouse than Buffalo Check does. Actual farmhouses, not I live in the suburbs and I pay HOA fees, but I think I live in a farmhouse. So what I'm doing here is I'm just ripping this up into, they're about a half inch strips, and I'm going through and pulling through each one to get all the excess threads off and gluing them end to end. So we just rip them apart and then put them right back together. So I'm trying to make a long piece of fabric. But the smaller you cut these, the more they're gonna fray. So I wouldn't try to go any smaller than that. Which is, it's a good proportion for this tassel we're making. Now I'm just going around a Starlight container lid. I just grabbed this because it was right there and it was pretty much the scale I wanted it to be, and I'm just wrapping it around. This part of the video is a mess. Most of the time I was completely out of the frame. I was very tired. I don't know what was going on. I was going through some kind of personal crisis, I guess. But it does not look great this whole time. In the rest of the video, I don't know what was going on, but the light was changing. It was crazy. So now I'm tying that off in the center, making sure it's real tight. Now I'm just going to slide the whole thing off here, and this is where I stayed out of the frame, so I'm going to just tell you what happened. I shook it out and then cut the loops open. That's pretty much it. Now I just have like this mop kind of thing, and I'm going to take some more of this string from, I think this is from Family Dollar. It's just like a twine, maybe in like the automotive section or the hardware section. It went really nicely with the color, the cream color of the ticking. That's all the string stuck to my glue gun. Now I'm just wrapping the top to form that little tassel area and gluing it down. And then once everything's glued, I just cut the uneven part of the top off. So you could use that hanging as a tassel, or you could use it like stuffed into the tree. So where it's just kind of hanging down like a big pom-pom kind of deal. I'm just using the rest of the twine right now to make a little bow to go on top. I wasn't completely happy with this one. I wasn't happy with the way it was finished, but I couldn't think of anything else, any other way to finish it. It was one of those things where I was like, you know, unless I like went to Michael's and sourced something to finish this with, I wasn't going to be happy with it, but it's cute. I'd probably like it better like stuffed into the tree instead of like hanging, but I'm just showing you could lift up one of the little loops on here and hang it. And of course you don't get to really see what it looks like finished because I wasn't even in the frame. So last time we cut, was it vertically? Yeah, last time we cut vertically, now we're cutting horizontally along the length of the fabric, not the width. And I am making these about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. It's the same thing, we're just ripping the fabric. You could cut this with pinking shears, you could do it with your rotary cutter, you could cut it with scissors and get it nice and neat. I like the frayed edges. And this is just a ball from Dollar Tree. And you can't glue the fabric directly to the ball because the ball's rubber, so it just slides right off. So I'm putting down some masking tape, and I'm just going to go around it in 8 sections and then put a section around the middle, so I'll have a place to glue when I glue the fabric on. And the candle is just there because it fit the ball nicely, and it gave me a little stand to work on. So see, I went like north and south, and then I'm going in between each one of those and then putting one strip of masking tape around the middle. And this is just cheap masking tape from the Dollar Tree. It's not actually doing anything besides sticking to the ball, so I can stick the fabric to the tape. And the way mine worked out is that I was able to get around the ball twice with one strip of fabric, and I had like the perfect amount. And you could figure out based on what size ball you get. I would give you a measurement, but every ball I picked up at Dollar Tree was a different size. There was like no uniformity at all, so try to measure around the middle to know how long you need, and then work with like 1 3/4 to 2 inch strips. Now I've gone like east and west, I'm going like north and south. And I'm making sure that top part right here stays nice and neat, which is actually the bottom when the ornament's done. And then this I'm just getting down because I'm going to cover that up anyway. And when I was doing this, I think I could have used like an extra 1/4 inch on all my strips, because see how I have to kind of tug things over and smush them a little bit each way? I was cutting it pretty close, but everything's still covered up and you couldn't see any of the blue ball. And then this one I wanted to make sure that it stayed, because this one was really close. That one too. But see, once it's all covered, it almost kind of looks like it's a fully covered ornament, not done in strips, but I like that. I think it looks rustic, and it looks handmade. And it's a nice size too, because those balls they're a pretty nice size. And now to finish this one off, I'm just adding 2 pieces of string. They're tied in the middle. I think they were like off-centered a little bit, and then I'm just adding a leftover pom-pom from when I made my pom-pom wreath. This is just muslin made with the Clover pom-pom maker. And now I've made a little needle from a piece of wire, and I'm using that to thread these wooden beads onto the string. And I think this actually took the longest because my piece of wire was so small, but I was like, nope, I'm doing this. I'm not getting up to get another piece of wire. So I just threaded those on, tied a knot, and stuck a little bit of hot glue in there. Then I kind of, I pulled sideways so the hot glue sat up against the side of the wooden bead. And then I could just kind of let them down. And here they are all done. And you can leave them hanging like this, or you can actually use them to twist around the branch of your tree so they hang down. Does that make sense? You can kind of see it in the picture at the end where 2 of the strings with the beads on them are just kind of looped over each other. And I'm adding a little button at the bottom because I like details. I really like the way this came out, especially because it's a nice size, and you could not find a styrofoam ball to do this on for $1. See, like just putting it like that and then hanging it on the branch. And then, getting them completely twisted up. But I really like the way this one came out. And for this one, I am using one of these old standby plastic clear ornaments that you can put stuff in. What do they call them? Fillable ornaments. I have, not even going to exaggerate here, I have about 100 of these in glass that I got from my grab bags last year. And there's no way I would be able to do this with a glass ornament. You'll see why in a second, but the plastic ones, they have that seam, which kind of, it's not ideal, but what are you going to do, you can have a plastic one that you can really get stuff in, or you can have the glass one that they're never really made that well. Even ones from like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, they're not made great. They're not thick enough glass to really handle a lot of stuff. So I have some scraps of the ticking fabric that I'm going to put in there, and I'm trying to really fill it up because I'm going to shake it around when I'm done, and I want those buttons that I put in there to kind of get stuck up against the glass in some places. And this is just some jute twine that I had. I went really buck wild with that, just shoving it in there. Yeah, I'm shaking it up a little bit. And since everything was a little bit clumped together, I probably do like a piece of fabric, a piece of twine, a piece of fabric, just because mine kind of got clumped together, but it's fine with me. And the last thing I'm going to add are some of these cotton pieces from those fall picks at Dollar Tree. They fit in there just fine. You just have to kind of squeeze one side in and then squeeze the other side in, but they fit, and it actually looks kind of cool. I think, at least. I like these when they're really, really full. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue before I put the cap back on, just because I've added a little bit of weight to it. I don't think it's enough that it would have pulled the cap off, but better safe than sorry. The only thing that really weighed anything was the buttons, and it's not like there were hundreds of those in there. So it's a nice farmhouse ornament, but that top is a little too shiny, so I'm just going to wrap that with some twine. Cover that up a little bit, and I'm cutting it off and then tying a piece of the ticking fabric as a bow. You can see as I shake that up, some of the buttons get stuck at the top. You can see in the picture it has the bow on it. I don't know why I didn't include that, but those are the ornaments. There's my tassel, my sports ball, or I don't know, my mom buys these balls for her dog all the time. There's my little fillable ornament. Hope you guys had a great day and that you enjoyed this. I will see you on Wednesday.